Hello everyone, this is Raptor coming at you, and I know the channel has been quiet for a while now, and it's because I've been hard at work trying to add content to my vlog channel, which is over at Raptor. You can find a link to it in the About section in this channel's page. So anyways, basically because I've been hard at work over there, I haven't really been working on my more creative side, which is what this channel was set up for. And I've had some ideas for it, but it's just been on the back burner. But now that I've got all this free time, so to begin with, this is a series that I've been wanting to do for many years now. The seed of this idea came all the way back in 2007. I was talking to some friends about how I felt that back then it was called Disney's California Adventure, and I've always felt it was kind of like a wasted opportunity because, got a Disney theme park about California in California. That's like going to Russia and finding a theme park about Russian folklore and all that stuff. Maybe it's fine on its own, but this is California. There's not much culture here besides, the typical surfer culture, Hollywood, of course, and all the theme parks. We got Disney, we got Universal, we got Knott's Berry Farm, we got SeaWorld. Pretty much got everything here. So it didn't make any sense to waste all that money to build a theme park around the theme of California. Like, what could you possibly do there? And it was obviously a money-making idea. They're like, oh, these tourists, they come to California and they want to go see Yosemite National Park or go to Malibu or all these other locations. Why can't we build a theme park and keep them here in Anaheim? I don't think they quite understand that people don't come to California to experience all things California through a theme park. It's like very weird way of looking at it, but the money got spent, the groundwork was laid, and now we're stuck with it. So with this, I've spent years thinking about, well, if I was in charge of Disney, what would have I done with the space? And from there, the ideas kept coming and coming and coming. So I've got how many years has it been now? 2007. So it's 13 years of theme park ideas. I actually came up with enough ideas to consider a third gate for Disneyland Resort here in California. So it's all been stuff that I've got in my head, and I've actually written it down, not on napkins like seems to be typical for most of these creative projects. I've written stuff down. There's some ideas that I ended up just rejecting entirely because I just realized it was just, oh, these are stupid. No one liked this. So for years, I've never really had an idea of how to present these ideas. My friends have all been saying you should totally make a YouTube channel and talk to people about your ideas. And I'm like, well, that's great and everything, but me being an artist, I feel like I can't just talk about these ideas. I need to illustrate them. Unfortunately, I'm more of a character artist. I actually did go to school for 2D animation. So I'm not only a character designer and a character artist, but I'm also an animator. I haven't really done anything crazy yet because, no one wants to hire a newbie out of school. So I've been doing little animation drafts. You've already seen, some of them are already on this channel. So for a while I thought about, well, how am I going to do this? I can't do architecture, and all my ideas for the Disneyland Resort involves architecture. How would the entrance look, or how would these restaurants or shops look? How would this whole land look? And so I've contemplated for a long time. At one point, I actually did consider, okay, if I can't draw it, maybe I'll just, open up Minecraft and maybe build it, which was, initially it was a great idea. It's if I build it and people liked it, they could download the map and they could load it up on their copy of Minecraft, and then they could just have fun with it there. I went full steam ahead. I started building, and it kind of fell apart because I started with the castle. And the castle ended up taking me maybe 2-3 weeks to build. It was a long time because I was looking at Google satellite images and looking at all these reference photos because I want the castle at the very least to be as close to the park as possible, and then everything else I would have like built it out as like how I would envision it. But after I finished building the castle, I was like, this is gonna take forever. Yeah, I know there's some people who have already actually built the castle, like Sleeping Beauty Castle in Minecraft, so I could have easily just went and downloaded all of that stuff and loaded onto my computer. I mean, as an artist, it just feels wrong to go and take someone else's work. I feel like it wouldn't really be my idea unless I built it myself. But after spending all that time in Minecraft just building the castle, I was like, oh man, how am I going to do the rest of the parks? Because there's like some parts in Disneyland that I want to tweak, and I pretty much would end up building out the entire park and just like change around the layouts that I wanted to. So I kind of gave up on that endeavor, and I kept thinking about it, and I decided, you know what, let's go back to my original idea where I just open up Photoshop and I just go ham on it. Okay, so before we actually get into rebooting the Disneyland Resort, as I'm basically doing, I want to get into why Walt's original concept of Disneyland involved a hub and spoke wheel design, or layout, basically. So, layer there. Okay, so how a spoken hub, how a hub system works is that you would have, you know, a central area, which is like where all people gravitates to. And here we have like, you know, Main Street, and then Fantasyland is up here, and then Tomorrowland's kind of over here somewhere, and then you have this area's got Adventureland and Frontierland. Yeah, anyways, so basically how this would work for Disneyland's case is that, okay, so let's say initially like each land is built out like so. As the years go by, you can add expansions to each particular land by just going in a linear fashion. So let's say I want to expand Tomorrowland more, so let's add another expansion to that. Or another year be like, you know what, let's expand Frontierland a bit more. And then another expansion would go that way. So basically it would flower out. And that was the reasoning behind Walt Disney's layout of Disneyland being the way it is. Because first of all, you have the hub system, so everyone gravitates towards the hub. And from there you can choose to go into each of the various lands. And then you can kind of like travel in between the lands if you're in a certain way. But it's like a circular motion. My college at University of California, Irvine, it's kind of designed around the same concept. I will have like every area, like we have the science buildings over in one area, and the arts buildings in one area, the English and all the other buildings. There's categorized into certain areas, so it's very easy to navigate. It's like, okay, if I want to get to the science buildings, I know it's in that direction, so I just need to walk along the circle, because in the center of the circle is the... Man, what was our park called? Aldrich Park? I mean, I know I've walked through it like a dozen times because like this is the one place that everyone just ends up traveling through, and that's where all the clubs advertise their clubs and stuff. So basically, that's all it is to it. That's the basic design behind Walt Disney's layout for Disneyland. So for my reboot of Disneyland, I mean, most of it's going to be largely the same. I only have issues with a few of the lands, and some lands I'm going to take out entirely because either it's not really suitable in Disneyland, or I feel like it would be in a better position in another park entirely. So let's see, let's start with, no, I need to adjust. Now whatever. So let's say this is the castle in the center, and you got all the nice cute little towers and turrets and all that stuff, and you got the flag. So yeah, there's our rendition of Sleeping Beauty Castle. Again, I'm not an architect, so this is all just gonna look pretty lame. And then if we zoom out I can remember how to zoom out. Okay. So here, I'll just outline it. So here's basically the hub, as we all know. Didn't mean to do that. And then here we have the Main Street. I just keep remembering. Usually when I go to Disneyland, I just rush through Main Street and just like go on to the other areas. And then over here we have the Matterhorn. It's always to the very recognizable point of interest to the right of the castle. And that's where they send Tinkerbell on a journey to and from the castle during the fireworks. And then over here we have the entryway to, I think over here would be like Adventureland. And Tomorrowland's kind of like over there. Then Frontierland is over here, and Fantasyland just gets a pretty decent amount of space. So the one area that I want to focus on today is Toontown. Now, for anyone who's ever been to Disneyland, Toontown is in a very awkward position. It's like located like right in the it's pretty much in the butt end of Disneyland. I'm not gonna say it's a butt end of Disneyland. There's no easy way to get to it. You have to friggin' push your way through all the crowds in Fantasyland to get there. Or if you were willing to wait, you grab the Disneyland Railroad from Main Street and you just wait till you have to go past I think it was the New Orleans train station, and then go over to stop off at the Toontown Depot. And then from there you walk to the entrance of Toontown. And everyone likes to go there because that's where all most of the characters are. So it's like Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, Pluto, like the Fab Five as they call it. I don't even know why they call it that. It's very weird. Anyway, so Toontown, what do I want to do with Toontown? Well, for starters, its current location, aside from the fact it's at the butt end of Disneyland, so it makes it hard to get to again, it's also in the fallout zone for the fireworks. So because of that, it closes early every night, regardless of what day of the week it is, 8, 8:30, and it closes down, doesn't reopen for the rest of the night. So you have until 8 or 8:30 to meet Mickey Mouse and all the other characters before the whole place shuts down, because they can't exactly clean up fireworks fallout in the dark of night. So for my reboot of Disneyland, I would rather move Toontown over to where Star Wars currently is. Don't put down your lightsabers and force powers or whatever. Star Wars Land will come back. I just feel like it'd be much better off in a separate park entirely. Kind of like what Universal is doing when they announced Nintendo Land. They don't want to shove it into their existing parks over at Florida, and here in Hollywood we don't really have a choice. But yeah, over in Florida they're putting Nintendo in an entirely different land because they feel like the current parks just doesn't have the space for it. I mean, Harry Potter's already monopolized so much. So I think Star Wars is kind of over here. Kind of. Yeah. Because it's like smack in the middle between like the border of Frontierland and Fantasyland. So for my redesign, I want to harken back to the original inspiration for Toontown, which is, for anyone who's pretty much as old as me, I'm in my 30s, is Who Framed Roger Rabbit? A lovely little movie. I do not recommend it for kids at all. So this would be the tunnel, like the freeway tunnel, that would take you to Toontown. Please don't judge me. I'm not really good at architecture. This is just conceptual. So you would take like a little freeway tunnel from Fantasyland and also another freeway tunnel from Frontierland. And I guess you could like brick it up. So let's see. So Fantasyland's side could have like a more fantasy-ish kind of brickwork. Like the castle, it's got like blues and pinks, grays. I don't know. Just color it up so it matches the rest of Fantasyland. Then over Frontierland, you could do the classic like brickwork to make it look like old-timey frontier brickwork. They had bricks back then, right? Anyways, so here in Toontown, we would hit the city area. So right now in Toontown, I'm not really kosher with the way they design it because the residential area and the city area kind of melts together. So when people come to Toontown, they're not quite clear on where they're supposed to go when they want to see the characters. They assume that, oh, City Hall, maybe Mickey and everyone will be coming out there. And to my knowledge, I've never seen Mickey come out of City Hall. He's usually all holed up in his house. Anyways, I want to make the city a bit more distinctive. Now, one thing that I was looking forward to in Toontown was going to Scrooge's McDuck money vault. What is that building? I mean, that's not where he lives. That's like where he administers his finances or something. So there's one experience that I've always wanted to have as a kid was jump into Scrooge McDuck's money vault. Any fan of DuckTale would tell you that's like one experience from the show that they've always wanted to do in real life. And actually, Disney did bring that experience to real life, albeit temporarily because it was a D23 Expo, which I think is still a dumb name. They should just simplify it to Disney Expo. That's all it is. And in the exhibition hall, there was a little booth where it was basically a ball pit, but instead of balls, you got plastic money, like coin things. I think they were like this big. Anyways, you can line up and have your turn jumping into the money pit. You would get a photo op for it, and then there was like some souvenir postcards you can get afterwards or whatever. So anyways, me going to D23 Expo, I saw the money pit and I was like, I have got to go there. But when I first went to the booth, the line was just like ridiculous. It's like another day at Disneyland. Anyways, I was figured, okay, maybe I'll wait till like maybe an hour before the exhibition hall closes. So maybe there'll be less people and I'll get a chance at it without so many people crowding around. So about an hour and a half before the exhibition hall closed, I went to go try to jump into the money pit. And the attendant there kind of stopped me and she was like, no, you can't jump into the money pit. We're just going to finish off these last few people and then we're closing down. And I was confused. I was like, wait, why is that? There's not a lot of people. You can squeeze me in. There's no one else coming here either. And she insisted that the only people who can jump into the money pits are the people who managed to grab like a wristband at the entrance to the exhibition hall. And to my knowledge, there was no such sign at the entrance to the exhibition hall. If there was a sign, it was blocked off by a lot of things, which I don't remember the entrance being particularly crowded into the exhibition hall. So if there was a sign, I would have seen it, but I saw no sign. And I asked the attendant, okay, well, where's the sign that would have told me to get wristbands for the money pit? And she said like, oh, it was down there somewhere. I guess she didn't really know where it was because she didn't really give me like distinct directions. And I was like, well, I mean, I was in that area. I did not see any signs for that. And you obviously have no signs here to indicate to people, hey, you want to jump into the money pit and fulfill your childhood dream? Well, go get a wristband. That will be at the entrance of the exhibition hall. So that very day, I was just, I mean, I still had fun, but that jump into the money pit would have totally just like be the cherry on top of my sundae, and it just ruined my sundae ice cream altogether. So, yeah, that is why I am insistent on having Scrooge McDuck's money pit be available in Toontown. I mean, you can also like maybe make it big enough so you can have like a meet and greet to one side, and then the other side is where people can line up to go into the money pit. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be like a pain in the butt to keep clean, but I mean, they used to have like a ball pit in Toontown. It was at the Chippendale Treehouse. It was badly designed, so I can see why they shut that down. If you ever wanted to check it out, go to Toontown, Chippendale's Treehouse. There's this weird, dug out, not even that deep area in the back corner of Toontown, and that's where they threw in these like plastic acorns, and kids used to be able to like jump into them, and there was like a slide nearby they could slide into the acorn pit. I don't know why they picked an acorn pit. Like, every kid always wanted to jump into Scrooge McDuck's money pit. Like, that is such an obvious experience to sell, but I guess they didn't do it. So anyways, moving on. Roger Rabbit definitely's got to stay. I mean, all of Toontown is freaking centered on Roger Rabbit, so his ride will still be over yonder. I don't know if I want to bring back the Jolly Trolley, because honestly, no one really cares about the Jolly Trolley. And you got Roger's little fountain thing. I can't draw him very well. It's got the water spewing out of him, all that fun stuff. I actually would like to be able to sit inside of Benny. You know, Benny, the little cab car. He's got his little eyeballs. Trying to remember what he looked like in the movie. But yeah, I don't... Like, right now, the only way you can see Benny is like he's just kind of tottering on top of the entrance to Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. And for me, I feel like, no, why is he a display element? He should just be like a freaking car you can sit in. Like, you got the freaking gas station over there. Why can't we sit on... take a picture with Benny, and then you could have a speaker nearby and have him like spew out lines, or I don't know, what is that, that tech that they use for, what's that other attraction? Turtle Talk with Crush. I mean, that'd be a great opportunity. He's kind of like, I mean, he's basically like those characters from Cars, so you can easily make like a Benny character. So yeah, got the Roger Rabbit. I don't know, it's whatever. That's Roger Rabbit. And then restaurant-wise, I guess like you could bring that Animator's Palette restaurant from one of the Disney cruise ships. I mean, that'd be perfect because it's all about the cartoon characters and, you know, Jessica Rabbit being like, I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way. And this is where I guess they would all be born out of, Animator's Palette. Or, I mean, you can keep the whole, like, food court setup they have in Toontown with, like, Clarabelle's. So Clarabelle's over here. She's always gonna be the purveyor of ice cream because she's the only cow character, and I don't know, I just feel like they should kind of have someone else be in charge of ice cream, because being a cow running an ice cream shop is kind of very cliche at this point. Yeah, we know milk comes from cows and milk gets used in ice cream, but I rest my case. Anyways, let's see. Another ride they could do is, as we delightfully initially called it, it was Mulholland Madness in California Adventure, and now it's Goofy's Sky School, which I feel is not very well thought out because they also have another character that can fly, and that is Launchpad. Let's see if I can I draw an airplane? Here we get the propellers, and he's got his wings. There we go, Launchpad. You can go to Sky School with Launchpad, and he's doing his crazy stuff because that's the Launchpad we all love and know. And it'll be next to Scrooge McDuck's Money Bin. It's a win-win. That's the way I see it. I don't know, I guess we could put it in, like, City Hall somewhere. Maybe next to Scrooge. Not like he's bribing those people. Come on now. He's got better standards than that. So yeah, there's a little City Hall. Maybe flesh this place out with... I mean, if you're not going to do the whole sit-down restaurant, then here, food court. Food stands. All that fun stuff. So there, you got the city area of Toontown. And then back here would be the residential area. So Chippendale's treehouse right over here. Don't knock on my tree. Like I said, I'm a character artist, not much for architect. I mean, Mickey doesn't really need his fountain there. I mean, you already got Roger Rabbit with his own fountain here. So this would be like a little cul-de-sac kind of layout. And you got Mickey's house is over here that he's always going to be stuck in forever. Got a little Mickey Mouse door. And then next door, of course, is his girlfriend, Minnie. And her house has to have a bow because she's Minnie Mouse, and that's how we distinguish her. Beep. Yes, that's my bow. And then she can... I like her little gazebo. I kind of wish she would do her tea parties inside or whatever. And then... Actually, maybe we can move Donald's boat near Scrooge. Let's undo that. So, Clarabelle, sorry. Just gonna move you. Or maybe you could just... Here, you could take over one of these. There, Clarabelle's little ice cream shop. Over here, we could do the Toontown Harbor. And that's where Donald's boat should be. He'll be near his uncle. I'm just drawing over City Hall at this point, so he's got his little anchor. I can't draw an anchor. Yeah, that makes sense. And then I guess put City Hall over here. Whatever. Anyways, City Hall will be there, or what have you. Donald will be at his little Toontown Harbor. He's got a little dock where you can like meet up with his little fans and friends. You got the little fishies or something, get some waves going like he's in the ocean. I guess we'll put Goofy's house over here. I'm still very upset that they got rid of the bounce house aspect of Goofy's house, because I've always wanted to go in there, but my parents would never let me because you're gonna friggin' hurt all the other kids. It's not so much like a worry about me getting hurt, as my parents are worried about me hurting other kids, which is kind of funny if you think about it. So yeah, it's Goofy's house. I don't know, maybe have his little trailer from that one cartoon short, his little crashed car, or maybe the car would be in front of it. I don't know. What other characters are there? I think that should be it, because Pluto lives with Mickey. And I don't know, I guess we could do the Mickey and Minnie's runaway train dealio over here. Choo-choo. I can't draw a train, leave me alone. Yeah, whatever, the whole train ride. So yeah, you could do the train ride, got Roger Rabbit, maybe Launchpad's Sky School, and then you got all the characters, so it's like very distinctive, like residential area, there's a little train depot, and then you got the city area. So that would be how I would redesign and relocate Toontown. And I feel like that's a better way to clearly divide the sections into like the city section and the residential area. You can probably add like more like Disney afternoon characters in there, like Baloo. Maybe do like, oh yeah, Baloo, you could do like this little meet and greet over here where you can encounter like Don Carnage and all those good people. What's another? Or Chippendale's Treehouse, maybe you can deck it out as Rescue Rangers. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities, a lot of potential for good stuff. So anyways, that'll be it for today. I'll probably just have these episodes just focus on like one land per episode, because I just have so many ideas for each land, so I just want to make it more consistent in that manner. I mean, I technically could cover like maybe 2 lands in one episode, but I just want to focus on just one land, just talk about it. So yeah, that is my dream Toontown. You just color it up a little. And Minnie's, of course, is always pink. She's got a little pink house there, little pink ear doorway. I don't know. You colorize that just to give it some life to it. I think Goofy's house had a red roof too. Think maybe, I don't know. Oh yeah, I would kind of like I would kind of like it if, like, Goofy, he would have, like, a second floor, and then you can, like, barge in on Max's room. Kind of like that one scene from a Goofy movie. I mean, not while he's friggin' naked. That'd be inappropriate and not family-friendly at all. No. Nope. Launch pad. What color was this airplane again? I think it was red. This is kind of some sort of burgundy, I think. Got this little aeroplane. A little tail here. And of course we got Benny. He's all... Okay, he's not that yellow. Maybe a little darker yellow. I think he had brown seats. I mean, it's not going to be accurate. Because, again, I'm not a character designer. I think Scrooge's building is a little off-white. Of course, his money sign is got all that gold. I love gold. And Donald's boat. I think it had like blue on it. It's mostly blue. I don't know. This is just my ideas for Toontown. I mean, I don't really have that many ideas for it. My only issues are just the location. It's terrible and can't really spend that much time hanging out with the characters, and because it closes early, and just playing with other stuff. Oh yeah, of course we'll have the little everything in Toontown will still be interactive. No worries about that. You'll still go to like the firehouse. I don't know, I guess we could put a firehouse next to the train, because I guess that would make sense. No, whatever. Messed up my layers, but whatever. It's not like Disney's gonna take this seriously or whatnot. You get to see the little Dalmatian poking his head out. You can see you can go to the dog pound, go to jail, all that nice little interactive stuff. So yeah, that is my Toontown. Nope. So that's my reboot of Disneyland so far. So tune in next time, see what land I am going to do next. I think I'm only concerned with 3 lands. I probably would only change about like 30% of Disneyland. I wouldn't really change that much about it. So anyways, that'll be all for now. Until next time, this is Zero Raptor signing off. Laters.